Ken, can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Okay. I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Court Reporting to order. If the director will call the roll, please.
Britton Collins.
Vice Chair here.
Ken Gibson.
Secretary here.
Earl Houston. Judge Rambo. Ken Mansfield.
Present.
Let the record show Judge Rambo has not called in yet.
Okay. Ready? This regularly scheduled commission meeting is taking place in Conference Room 1B of the Davy Crockett Tower, 500 James Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee. Notice of this meeting was posted to the court reporter's website on March 20th of 2017. Us not having a physical quorum present in the room, I'll now read the statement of necessity pursuant to TCA 8-44-108B2. According to TCA 8-44-108B2, if a physical quorum is not present at the location of a meeting of a governing body other than a state debt issuer, the governing body other than a state debt issuer must file such determination of necessity, including the recitation of the facts and circumstances on which it was based, with the Office of Secretary of State no later than 2 working days after the meeting. Furthermore, TCA 8-44-108A3 defines necessity as matters to be considered by the governing body at that meeting require timely action by the body. The physical presence by a quorum of the members is not practical within the period of time requiring action, and that participation by a quorum of the members by electronic or other means of communication is necessary. This is the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Court Reporting. The purpose of today's meeting, with some members attending by teleconference, is to discuss the agenda as noticed on the website earlier. All right, we will now review the agenda, which was posted to the court reporter's website and disseminated to the members prior to the meeting. Are there any additions or corrections, or excuse me, are there any amendments to the agenda?
Only thing I had, this is Ken Mansfield, is that being the first meeting of the year, we need to elect officers.
Correct, and
Judge Rambo, are you there? Is that Judge Rambo? Can't hear you.
he can hear us and we can't hear him. It's ominous.
We're still not hearing Judge Rambo. If you're on the line, please announce yourself.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. I've been on the whole call, and I answered the roll call, and when they said Judge Rambo's not on the conference call, that's when I figured out you could not hear me.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're happy to hear you, very happy. Glad you're not participating in ghost form. And we'll get the meeting back on.
Good morning, Judge Rambo.
Good morning, everyone. The last I heard,
Good morning.
Thank you. The last part I heard before I started calling back again was a statement to the effect that we needed to elect officers.
Correct.
Well, yeah, we're presently discussing the agenda. Ken Mansfield has noted that we need to have an election of officers pursuant to statute. There's also been a request by the board's counsel to move the legal report up to immediately after adoption of the agenda. So I would make a motion that we adopt the agenda with the exception that we move the legal report to directly after the adoption of the agenda with an election of officers to follow immediately thereafter. And then we'll conduct the meeting otherwise in accordance with the agenda.
And I second that, Ken Mansfield.
Okay, will the director take the vote, please?
Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, I'll now recognize the board's counsel for the legal report.
Good morning, board members. This is Shalina Brown, disciplinary counsel. I believe that you were sent the legal report in advance to review. We can start with the first case, 2016-02, respondent court reporter.
And we'll give you guys a second to look over the summary and if you have any questions before Shalene makes her recommendation.
I would like to ask, was there any investigation as to whether audio recording of a court reporter is work product or not?
No, sir, there was not. In light of the fact that the funds were withdrawn from the court reporter's account, my recommendation is to close this matter.
This is Ken Mansfield. After having reviewed the materials that were forwarded to me, I'm in agreement with the recommendation, and I move that we accept the recommendation.
John Rambo seconding the motion.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote.
Do we need to?
Are there
I'm
any
sorry.
other questions? I'm sorry.
Do we? I don't know that. Do we have in the record what the recommendation is? I'm not sure that that's.
It should, the version I'm looking at on my iPad does have a recommendation at the bottom. Shalene, do you want to just state it again for the record?
Yes, my recommendation for this matter is to close it.
Any further discussion before I take a roll? Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, the next case, number 2016-03, court reporter. My recommendation is to authorize a formal hearing and send a consent order for informal settlement with a civil penalty of $250 for violations of Tennessee Code annotated section 20-9-603A and Tennessee Comprehensive Rules and Regulations 0455-01-05-.031F, willfully practicing or seeking to practice court reporting without a current license. This is an unlicensed court reporter matter.
Ken Mansfield again. I move that we accept the recommendation.
Sure. I believe we have a question, Mr. Mansfield.
Okay.
How was the $250 civil penalty arrived at? What is the maximum?
I believe the maximum is 500.
So how do we come up with, or why is the recommendation for $250 instead of $500?
In this particular matter, the reason I determined $250 was there was no prior history of any other complaints. But if you would like to assess the maximum, we can change that to 500.
My personal recommendation would be to assess the maximum.
Okay, it sounds like there may be two different motions going. I think Mr. Mansfield moved to concur with counsel, so we can get a vote on that one, and then we'll take Mr. Gibson's motion.
I don't know that,
I don't know that we have a
Ken
second.
Mansfield's motion was second.
Right.
I'm about to say the same thing.
It wasn't seconded.
I will second the original motion for 250.
Okay.
Judge Rambo.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay,
Okay, I'll take a roll call on that first motion. Britton Collins,
No.
Ken Gibson,
No.
Earl Houston,
No.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, that motion fails. And I believe the second motion that would also need a second would be to assess the civil penalty for informal settlement in the amount of $500 and authorize a formal hearing as well.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Gibson and a second by Mr. Collins. Any further discussion?
One question. During the investigation, was it determined at any time that the reporter, for any reason, did not?
No, based on the information I've reviewed, they were aware.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote at this time. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, the second motion passes.
Hey there, this is Lindsay Shepard. I also serve as disciplinary counsel, and I have the next two cases. They're actually related, so I presented the summary together. It applies to both of them. 2017-02, I refer to as Respondent 1, Court Reporter. 2017-01, I refer as Respondent 2, also a Court Reporter. My recommendation for 2017-02 against Respondent number 1 is a $250 civil penalty with formal charges authorized for violation of Rule 0455-01-05-.031F, willfully practicing or seeking to practice court reporting without a current license. And for case 2017-01 against Respondent number 2, I recommend a $250 civil penalty with formal charges authorized for violation of Rule 0455-01-05-.031E, failure to respond to board correspondence.
Are there any extenuating circumstances in this case that are substantially different from the aforementioned case?
So for 2017-02, there's nothing in the record indicating that the respondent was aware that her court reporting license was expired. That's actually something that I noticed when I looked up her file.
Well, it would be the obligation of the reporter to be sure that their license is active and current.
Everybody should know. I would like to move that we adopt the recommendation with the $500 maximum penalty.
Do we?
I second that.
And I'm sorry, who seconded the motion?
Ken Mansfield.
I have a motion by Mr. Gibson to amend council's recommendation to a $500 civil penalty as to case number 2017-02, and a second by Mr. Mansfield. Any further discussion?
During the investigation, was it determined that she received notice, he or she received notice that their license was expired?
I'm not sure.
Let me help with that if I may. I have been making sure that every week or 10 days over the June 30th period onwards for at least a couple of months, I was posting the most recent results on the website so court reporters could look up and find out whether they had or hadn't expired. I updated that just about every week or 10 days all the way through August, and in fact my most recent update is at the end of last month. So there are always updates on the website as to who's renewed, who hasn't, who's still expired. You know, if we have any new licensees, any temporary permits that came through, it's always on our website.
renewal notice that is sent out.
Yes, renewal notices were sent to everybody.
During the investigation, did you speak to the respondent?
She did provide a response to the complaint, but the complaint was not for unlicensed activity. The complaint was, to give a summary, a pro se, not sure if they were the plaintiff or defendant, hired respondent 1 to provide court reporting services. She was not available, so she asked respondent number 2 to provide those services for her. So in this case, respondent 1, who she offered to engage in court reporting services, but she never actually engaged in those services.
Do we have jurisdiction to expand the scope of the complaint, investigation associated with the complaint, outside of the scope that the complaint is brought to us?
Typically, yes. If we see additional violations in our investigation, we can go forward and seek civil penalties or discipline for that unauthorized activity.
There would be, there's an admission by respondent 1 that she is court reporting without a license. There's an admission of that.
Yes, she said that she could not go to the complainant's hearing to provide those requested services because another client needed her. So.
Well, I renew my motion.
I think that motion
knows
still
supposed to have a license.
We already have a second by me, Ken Mansfield.
My only concern about this issue is that, and maybe she should have, he or she should have clarified, the respondent should have clarified this in their statement, is that we don't know if the respondent was unlawfully practicing as a court reporter while. The reason we don't know that is because we know what she stated to the second reporter, but she didn't actually do the job. He or she didn't perform the job.
The rule that I'm citing considers it a violation willfully practicing or seeking to practice court reporting without a current license. So the fact that she offered to engage in those services, even though she did not actually end up providing them, could be considered seeking to practice.
Do y'all have a copy of the regs?
Does anyone on the phone have a comment about this issue?
This is Judge Rambo. I was more comfortable with the 250 than the 500 because, one, she did not actually perform the service. She passed it off to another. That's no excuse. It's still a violation in my estimation, but I don't see that it is comparable to the worst of the worst for where you would have the $500 maximum fine.
That's a reasonable thought, I think. Ken Mansfield here.
Sorry, Mr. Mansfield, your phone broke up a little bit. Could you repeat that?
I said it's a reasonable thought. I concur.
Okay, let's put it to a vote.
Okay. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
No.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. And then there was also a second recommendation by counsel for case number 2017-01 of a $250 civil penalty for violation of Rule 0455-01-05-.031E. also authorizing formal charges.
I'm not a big fan of folks who don't respond to their disciplinary complaints. Not sure if $250 is an appropriate civil penalty.
Is the max civil penalty with this is $500?
Yes.
That's our maximum under any circumstance, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Mansfield, I've been informed that the live stream of this meeting is picking up a lot of feedback. If you or Judge Rambo could mute your phones when you're not speaking, we're hoping that will drown out some of the feedback.
Okay, well, I'm driving, so that's probably a problem for me.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Ask that we do what?
And
I did not hear the request in regard to our phones.
Yes, sir. If you are not speaking, if you could possibly mute your phone to kind of drown out some of the feedback that's being picked up on the recording, that may help the clarity of the recording.
I shall be parked within a few minutes, and that should help on my end a great deal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and if everybody would please speak into the microphones too, that helps also.
Oh, we need a motion. As I stated, I don't feel that $250 is an appropriate civil penalty for a licensed court reporter who fails to respond to a disciplinary complaint that's been filed against them, whether they agree with the basis for the complaint or not. They're under an obligation to respond, and it's an affront to the disciplinary process when they don't do so. I will make a motion that we adopt the recommendation as far as authorizing a consent order, but in the amount of $500 rather than $250, and further authorizing formal charges.
Second.
I second that motion.
Can we have discussion, please?
Yes, sir.
What are the range of penalties, minimum to maximum?
Typically, with the Department of Commerce, what we've done is we've gone as low as a letter of warning, up to whatever the statutory maximum is. In this case, would be $500.
So basically, regardless of the circumstances, the board's position, if we adopt this, is if you do not respond, it's automatic $500 maximum penalty, period.
I'm in favor of that. If you're an attorney and you fail to respond to a disciplinary complaint filed against you, they suspend your license. So $500 is a small price to pay compared to that, respectfully.
And so typically what would happen is we would send out a consent order with that $500 settlement offer if that is not responded to, or if they choose to not sign that consent order, we would go to a formal hearing on this issue and have it decided by the administrative procedures process.
How did the recommendation for $250, how did you arrive at that?
$250 because I felt failure to respond. I mean, we don't know. People get mail all the time that they don't respond to. We don't know that they intentionally ignored us, and then also this gives them an incentive to settle rather than going through the formal hearing process.
But I do note that the case summary that we have says that the respondent received a copy of the complaint via certified mail. So this is not an instance where it was potentially lost in the mail and they have no idea that this is going on. And they have willfully failed to respond.
It's also hard to tell if there are any extenuating circumstances if they don't respond. So,
I agree. It subverts our ability to, and it subverts counsel's ability to make a true investigation of the facts of the complaint, which makes our role even more difficult.
and at the formal hearing, they can tell us if there are any extenuating circumstances then.
Any further discussion before a vote? Okay, the motion on the floor is to authorize a formal hearing with a civil penalty in the amount of $500 for violation of Rule 0455-01-05-03, .03, 1E. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
No.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
All right, and that concludes our legal report.
Okay, next we have election of officers.
This is Ken Mansfield. I nominate Britton Collins for the position of chairman.
I'll second that, Ken Gibson.
We have a motion for Mr. Collins to serve as chairman for the Tennessee Board of Court Reporting, and we also have a second. Any discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote. Britton Collins,
I will abstain.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you all. This is a wonderful honor. I'm very happy to serve in this role for the next year. Let's see, we need a vice chair. I will nominate Earl Houston as vice chair.
Second, Ken Mansfield.
Any discussion on the motion?
Well, actually, Earl's about, you're technically rolled off. I guess it's probably not a good idea, now that I think about that. I'm sorry, who do we have on the board that is actually sitting in an unexpired term? Or whose term will not expire in the middle of this year?
Right. We have Mr. Mansfield, but he's about to expire.
In June, correct?
Yeah,
So we've
that's
got,
correct.
Mr. Gibson, who is our current secretary, has yet to serve his full term as secretary. Then we have our new chairman. Congratulations. Then we have Judge Rambo, who's very recently appointed. But that's it. Mr. Houston is very gracious to be here and has offered to continue to serve without until he receives word from the governor.
Well, it sounds like we have our officers. It's just a matter of who is going to be which.
Well, I mean,
Sure. In light of the fact that occasionally the vice chair does have to appear and run the meetings, I think it would be less burdensome on Judge Rambo if we nominated Ken Gibson as vice chair. Again, it'd probably be easier for you to get here to chair meetings if necessary than Chancellor Rambo. So I'll nominate Ken Gibson as vice chair.
And this is Judge Rambo seconding that motion.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
The motion passes.
And I nominate Judge Rambo as secretary. This is Ken Mansfield.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote on the motion. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Abstain.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, congrats to all.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, we need to review and adopt the minutes from the December 9th, 2016 meeting. Those minutes were disseminated to the board members prior to this meeting, and I believe were also possibly posted to the website. Yes. Oh, these have not been posted. Okay, these have been disseminated to the board members prior to the meeting. Trust that everybody's had an opportunity to review them. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes that have been disseminated? All right, there being none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes.
I move that we adopt the minutes.
Second, Judge Rambo.
Okay. Britton Collins,
Yes.
Ken Gibson,
Yes.
Earl Houston,
Yes.
Judge Rambo,
Yes.
Ken Mansfield.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, are we going to have a director's report?
I can attempt to give you a brief summary. I will state that the executive director is out on extended leave. We expect her back in the next few weeks. Just briefly looking at the director's report, you can see the number of active, inactive, temporary, and expired licensees the board currently has. There are currently 499 active court reporters with 171 expired licenses.
Whoa.
The next 2 pages reflects the Board of Court Reporting budget. There's a month-to-month breakdown on the second page. I believe that's all. That's all we have on the director's report this month.
Okay. Any new business?
Not to my knowledge, no.
I'll raise a concern about the number of expired licenses.
I think that's a lifetime number, just people that have.
Okay, so that's not ones that expired in the past year.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay.
That is the collective number of expired licenses.
Okay.
We had about maybe 50 that failed to renew in June of last year, and I left them as active on the website and the reports that I'd been giving because they did have the 6-month grace period, if you know. So I actually set them all to expire, the 52 or 53 of them, if I'm not wrong, around about the first week of January. Because a lot of them paid the late fees, a lot of them, when they realized they had expired, we were reaching out to people all through the couple of months saying, your license expired, you're planning to renew. Many of them already had the education, they just hadn't paid their fee. Many of them didn't know where to pay the fee. So we did everything within our power to make sure they knew how that money was supposed to come in, what was required, was it CE, was it just the fee? And a lot of them actually responded with a month late fee. Some of them even paid up to 5-month late fees. But round about January, the ones that just hadn't responded or hadn't gotten their licenses renewed, we set them to expire at that time.
This was the first renewal cycle that we've had since coming over to Commerce and Insurance, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But there was information sent out to all the reporters that transition had taken place and renewals were to come here instead of to the
that is correct.
Judiciary.
And Debbie Hayes, that is correct. And Debbie Hayes, the lady at the Administrative Office of the Courts, she worked with me extensively and almost on a weekly basis to see if she had received anything. You know, people were still sending it there. She went above and beyond. I'm very happy for her assistance to send any CE, to send any checks that were made out wrongly so we could get to them and say, you know, you don't have to make it to Administrative Office of Courts anymore. Here's the proper way to go about doing your renewal. So with Debbie Hayes' help, we got a lot of people through the gate, even if it was 3 or 4 months late. But I think I can confidently say we did everything we could to assist people who made an attempt to get renewed.
While we're on the subject of renewal, what's the projected times that we will have online renewal at the website of Commerce and Insurance?
We have our IT currently speaking to our software vendor about putting our court reporters from the Access system that we use to monitor their licensing and their CE and their fees into the new core system that all the other boards are using by June of this year. So they've already taken my Access database. They're working on what the requirements are and how they're going to fit them into our new system as we speak. So we are very optimistic that we'll certainly have online renewals by the next cycle, which is 2018.
That's great. That's great.
Going back to the legal report, if I may, has the issue of 2016-01 been resolved?
Is that from the December legal report?
Yes.
That is still being negotiated.
At what point do y'all give up on those negotiations and decide to just move forward with the contested
I've sent
case?
him a letter for his final response by the end of this month. If not, it will go to a formal charge from there.
Okay. Any other new business? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
This is Ken Mansfield. Motion to adjourn.
This is Earl Houston. I second the motion.
I'll do a roll call. Britton Collins?
Yes.
Ken Gibson?
Yes.
Earl Houston?
Yes.
Judge Rambo?
Yes.
Ken Mansfield?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we are adjourned at 9:41 a.m.
It was a pleasure serving with everyone.
Thank you both so
Thank
much
you
for
all.
calling in.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
It was a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.